Hello, guys. Welcome back to the podcast. Nothing to see here. It's back with a brand new episode. I'm sorry that I haven't recorded a new episode in a while. I've just been really busy, and I really just felt like the series has ran its course because I really didn't really have much to talk about. But I feel like I could continue the show going by telling stories about my life, but at the same time giving you updates about my life because in the past week, I mentioned on Twitter that I was going through like a depressive state. I was a little just kind of sad. I was kind of in a weird mood for like over a week, and I just kind of want to just talk. This is like my personal diary for you guys. You can listen to what's going on in my life. How everything's going, and so on and so forth. So the first thing I would like to talk about is the whole depressive thing. Now, about a week ago, I've been working a lot, and haven't had enough time to do anything else. And I guess I got really depressed for something. Okay, I really needed to start talking to like a therapist or something because I have a feeling that something might be wrong with my brain. Let me explain. As you guys may or may not know, I have ADHD, I have ADD, I'm OCD, I have all kinds of things wrong. And I really have, I know something's wrong with my brain because after a long day of work or if I'm up for long periods of time and, it's finally time for me to actually go to sleep and actually get some rest, I can't shut my brain off. I have this problem, where my mind just keeps thinking. Even when I'm actually awake, if I'm at work and I have to focus on work, my mind will be somewhere else. It's almost like, you ever get that feeling, where you're doing something, but you just don't feel like you're physically there? You feel like you're in you watch yourself do these things right in front of you, but you just don't feel like you're there. That's the feeling I get a lot. I get yelled at, my boss will yell at me at work, stop daydreaming, Austin, and I'll just kind of come out of it, I'll just be, what? But I have a feeling that something's wrong with my brain for several reasons because I can't stop thinking. I would give myself headaches with this problem. I keep thinking to the point where I'll get a headache, and I'll freak out over the dumbest shit. And that's not even an exaggeration. I will freak out over the dumbest stuff. And to the point where I'll feel like I'll pass out or give myself a panic attack. And it was so bad that it put me in like a big depression. I was really kind of depressed for about a week, and I'm in a much better mood now, but it was just really scary. And so there's that explanation. So let's move on to well, actually, hold on. I got one more thing I'd like to bring up about depression because actually, a lot of people think depression is a bad thing. I actually think it's a rebirth. In my personal opinion, I actually think depression, everybody needs to go through a depression state at least once in their life because it could be bad, but at the same time it's life-changing. Jim Carrey said this one time. He said you should think of you think the world is depressed, you should think of the word depression as a deep rest. Depressed, a deep rest. Your body needs to be depressed. It needs, deep rest from the character you've been trying to play. And that really stuck with me. I was like, a deep rest. So, you go through life, you play this character. You may not realize it, but everybody plays a character. They're not a real person. Like, even I'm playing a character as I'm talking to you, and I'm not even aware that I'm doing it. When you are talking, I think I've said this before in the podcast, but when you're talking to your boss, you play a character for them. When you talk to your mother, you play a character for them. When you talk to somebody you really dislike, you play a character for them. You play an alternate version of yourself every person you interact with. You are the only person that knows your true self. You and you only, and nobody else. And that's just how it works, But anyway, enough of that. I actually would like to bring up some stuff that I've been working on because I've been real silent on YouTube. I haven't been on YouTube in a bit. I've been uploading here and there, and not just because I by choice, but at the same time I've been working a lot. I do have a Lemon script ready for a new episode, so stay tuned for that. That will be coming soon. I just been, like I said, struggling. I have other videos that I started filming but didn't finish filming, and I'm just waiting for the right time to get those done. I also have a brand new album coming out. If you don't follow me on Twitter and Instagram, my debut album called Overdose drops May 10th. So stay tuned for that on my YouTube channel. And we actually had a problem. I was going to record another gameplay video tonight, but my SD card, the lock, with an SD card, it has that little lock switch on the side. It broke off, and it broke off in the locked position. So now I can't, use the SD card in the camera. I still can use the footage on the SD card in my computer, but it just will not work, in the camera. And that just annoys the hell out of me, because I've had this SD card for like 5 years and it's never let me down. But SD cards need to get rid of that stupid lock thing on the side, because it's so useless, really. Because, if you didn't want nobody to see what was on it, then if you lock it, they could just unlock it. It's so simple. And, the lock will wear off after a while. So you start, pulling it, and it just doesn't work. But, yeah, I'm going to have to buy me a new SD card. So if there's not much videos on my channel for the next week, you'll know why. It's just because I don't have an SD card. But my album will drop on the 10th, so later this week. But there's one more thing I'd like to talk about. It's actually kind of sad, but it's because I made a TikTok about it. I would like to talk about my TikTok too, but we'll get to that last. It's called Love Life. I made a funny little joke about not having a girlfriend, but at the same time I blame myself for it, because I don't really put myself out there. I'm probably the most awkward guy you'll ever meet, but at the same time, once I get used to you, I'm like the coolest person ever. But I'm not a narcissist. I'm just saying, from other people's perspectives, they always like my personality. But I'm really shy, I'm really dorky, and every girl that I've ever, liked, they've either had a boyfriend or they just don't know I exist. And but yeah, there's that. And I had a girlfriend at one time. I wouldn't even consider it a girlfriend, honestly, but it lasted like a week. And this was years and years ago in church. I went on my first and last date like 8 years ago. I did a video on my YouTube channel telling the story about that. I went to go see the Godzilla movie, and she was very non-talkative, and my mother who set it up, and it was not good at all. But moving on from that, I don't even know why I brought that up, honestly. But if anybody is looking for a date, call me. And they live in the Georgia area, call me. I'm kidding. But I want to talk about TikTok, but I want to mention this too. I got really excited that Billie Eilish, she's dropping her brand new album called Happier Than Ever in July. I've come to the conclusion that this year is going to be a fantastic year for music. I love music. I'm very influenced by music. This year we're getting a new, as far as I know, I think we're getting a new Weeknd record, a new Billie Eilish record, of course, a new Slipknot record, and a new Ghost record. So that alone gets me super pumped for some music. And which is why I made my own music. My own album will be dropping later this week on the 10th. And I'm really excited for you guys to hear it. I know you guys like when I make music, so there's that. And music, for some reason, it changes the way I feel. Music. Somebody who's very influenced by music goes through moods. Like the album "When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go" by Billie Eilish. That one affected me. I was going through a rough time in 2018. Let me briefly talk to you about 2018. 2018 was a really, really bad year for me. Probably, I wouldn't say it's worse than 2020, but as far as an emotional state that I was in, 2018 was terrible. I got into a friendship with some people who, metaphorically speaking, stabbed me in the back, and I thought I was gonna lose my reputation on YouTube from then on, and I was gonna lose my channel, and things were just gonna go downhill from there. And I really was at a really, really bad point at that time. And then in 2019, I kind of rebirthed from there. I rose from the ashes at that point, and I was able to overcome, that problem. And one of the first albums that I listened to at that time was Billie Eilish's "When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go?" And it really, really helped. And painting. I did a lot of painting. I started painting in 2015. And I got better at it as I went on, 2017, and then I started painting a lot more in 2018. And then around 2019, I stopped painting. And then I painted a little here and there, like some in 2020. I painted a little here and there, and I haven't painted since. I did a few here and there, but I was never satisfied with them. And painting really, in my honest opinion, painting and music, they just mix so well together. And hopefully, maybe in another month or so, or whenever I feel up for it, I will actually get back into painting. And because painting really does help. But it got to the point, where there were paintings everywhere. They were all over the house. I was eating off of them. They were scattered everywhere. It almost looked like a dead artist's apartment or something. It was so bleak and it looked really depressing. But hopefully in the next maybe whenever I feel like it, I will actually get back into painting and actually be satisfied with my paintings, because I do a lot of paintings where I was never happy with them, and they just look kind of weird. I was like, I don't really like them. But I have my occasional ones where I was real proud of them. But maybe one day I'll get back into that. But now let's talk about my TikTok. What was it? Earlier this month? Yeah, it was beginning of this month. I finally gave in and made a TikTok account. Now, I'm not doing all the what do you call it? The very cringy teenager kind of bullshit that most people do on TikTok. I love TikTok. I get on there and look at the memes and other stuff. My TikToks are quite different, though. Mine are skits, and like I have this new character on there called Mr. Boogie. If you haven't seen that, check that out. But yeah, my TikToks are a little different. I try to make them unique in a sense. I don't really want to make a TikTok where I do this stupid dance and then get like 1 million views, because then what would be the point in that? It's kind of stupid. It just is. I don't like to do cringe stuff. I like to be proud of what I put out. And what sucks the most is that it's always the stuff that are bad and cringy that you don't really care much about, that you put the most littlest effort into, always get the most views. But the stuff that you're actually really, really proud of, that you really want to put out there and get people to see, that's the ones that nobody ever sees. It's weird how that works. I don't understand why that's a thing. But this is actually a really, really short podcast, because I really thought I had a whole lot to talk about, because I was kind of stumbling on my words. But at the same time, life's been kind of wonky lately, and I just hope I can get back to a point where I'm satisfied with everything. And I really hope you guys enjoy this album that I'm about to put out. I put a lot of heart and soul into it. I started working on that album in the end of February, and I just finished it tonight as I'm recording this video or this podcast. And if you enjoyed this podcast and you want me to do more, please leave a thumbs up at the bottom. If you want to follow me on my Twitter, if you want to follow me on all my socials, I'll put them in the description below. But if you want to follow me on Twitter, I'll tell you right now, it's at ATV Taylor. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Austin_Taylor TV. And if you want to follow me on TikTok, it's at ATV Studios. And my merch store will be in the description as well if you want to buy some merch. And I'm Austin Taylor, and thank you guys so much for listening in to Nothing to See Here. Peace.